inside lane. Missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I keep my gaze straight ahead.
Welcome to our Tech Call series where we interview and shine the light on students backstage. This is where all the behind the scenes things are happening. Today we talk with Josh Harris. Mostly made his mark backstage very prominently at the school. However, most recently decided to take a little turn on stage. Let's go find Josh.
So the cruise control, switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel
Oh, hey. Okay, we're backstage right now, but let's go over here to the stage. All right, just right over here this way. Out here. Yep, this is the auditorium. Watch your step, watch your step. Hi, my name is Josh Harris. I'm a senior at Shawnee Mission Northwest High School, and I'm currently working on my 23rd show, not just at the high school, but in overall. And I want to make sure everyone knows that there's no such thing as a left-handed hammer, and if I send you to get one, it's a joke. I got into tech my freshman year, and I wasn't really extremely resourceful at the time with it. I was just sort of someone who would be there if you need hands to hold a wall or something along those lines. And it wasn't really until the end of my freshman year, when those seniors had graduated, that I became sort of almost the #1 person to go to in our theater department for tech. And that was because, you know, I constantly put in my hours. I was constantly there. I learned so much because I just watched all the seniors work, and I just watched how they handled themselves at tech and how they did things and how the lights worked when they were messing with them. And I really just studied all the seniors. And then when they left, I was the person who knew how to do everything the best. So I really fell into it my sophomore year. With me, I became the stage manager my sophomore year. And when I'm saying that, I'm meaning our thespian officer board has positions, and I was the stage manager on the officer board. And the stage manager on the officer board tends to stage manage the shows as well. And no one ever taught me how to stage manage a show. And my first one I had to do was Little Shop of Horrors, which was not fun in the slightest, but it was also fun at the end of it. And there were some really big issues with that show that I had to deal with. And it was just a crazy show to stage manage for my first time. I've done so many things outside of high school that have helped me in my high school career. I've learned so much that I've brought back to my high school. Like maybe over the summer I've worked somewhere and I come back to high school and I teach everyone this thing with, I've taken some summer camps for tech, where I go to the summer camp and I learn a few things, and then I come back and I show people at my high school how to do them. Like I learned a lot of mood lighting at one summer camp, and that really helped me as a lighting designer. I had not designed lights before the summer camp that I went to, and when I learned how to do mood lighting and how, you know, you shouldn't have too much color in a comedy unless it has a point. You shouldn't really like throw color in random spots unless it's like a musical or like a drama, and that really helped me become a good lighting designer. And I brought all that back to my high school, and they're still using things that I taught them today. One of the most challenging situations I had to troubleshoot. One of them was when I was stage managing Little Shop, and we have 2 sets of scaffolding on stage at all times. And these sets of scaffolding were served as looking kind of like a downtown, really gross area, just scaffolding up in the streets to serve as our skid row to help us with that. And then we also rolled the scaffolding out in front of the set, and there were walls on it that made it look like a dentist shop for the dentist scenes. And that was pretty crazy because on the scaffolding, the way we would put the walls onto the scaffolding, it just didn't work. The wheels got caught on the walls, everything was messing up, and everything I tried would just fail immediately. And this was really when I started picking up on my problem solving skills. And I sat at home one night and I was like, okay, how are we gonna do this? I thought about it. I really did the pros and cons to every solution. And then I finally came into the theater and I was like, this is what we're gonna do. And then so I basically had to raise them off the wheels, drill holes, wire the holes to the scaffolding, and it was a big mess. But I've had many titles in different programs. My first one has to be, I was a spotlight in my first show I was a part of, and And then from that, in my second show, I moved on to becoming a light board operator, in which I hit go, basically, kind of turn on, turn off some lights according to whatever the stage manager says. And that was a really good experience because I got to learn a lot about lights when I was the light board operator. And after that, I moved on to being a stage manager for more shows. And that was a great experience because I knew what it was like to be a light board operator. I knew what it was like to be a spotlight. It was easy to talk to them. It was really good. And then my newest title in a program has to be I was a director and a writer for a show. It was a full-length show. I wrote and directed it myself. It was a really good experience because I couldn't have done that without having been a stage manager first. Because being a stage manager, I got to sit in the booth. I got to watch people on stage. I got to see their acting. I got to read the script. I got to have time to say to myself, how could I do this better? And that's what really made me want to write and direct a show. I've participated in many strikes for professional theaters because I know a lot around town are basically just recruiting, saying, hey, we have a strike. Anyone can please come help. And I've been a part of that many times, and that's helped immensely in my day-to-day life in my high school because I got to go in. I basically just got to have a version of a tour and just see how their theater works. I got to see where their stage manager was, how they were operating. I got to see how they built their set pieces as I was taking them down. I got to see how they stored their equipment, you know, how I could make my shop cleaner by using their shop as an example. So even just spending a few hours at another strike really helped me in our theater by just saying, this is how things operate in professional theater. This is how things go. And I think our strikes sped up 30 minutes, an hour after I've participated in professional ones. My biggest highlight right now would be, I just light designed a show. I just light designed You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and I'm very proud of that show. I think I did an amazing job. At the end of the show, I was really happy with all my lights. I thought all the characters looked great on stage. The colors looked really cartoony. It was just, there was so much happening. I was really happy with it.
Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway and cancel the cruise.